Hello, good evening. It's lovely to be back with you again, and thank you for tuning in to episode 3 of Chronicles of a Transport Geek with me, Jamie. It's Saturday, the 26th of May, and I would like to start with a correction from last week. I said last week that you can't go from southbound to northbound or northbound to southbound at Blackfriars on the Thames Link without going through a ticket gate. Well, somebody corrected me. That's absolutely true if you go out the north exit. But if you go out the south exit, you don't have to go through any ticket barrier. So if you're, as I was saying last week, say coming from Elephant and Castle and then changing at Blackfriars to go to London Bridge, if you go out the south exit, then you don't go through any ticket barriers. I also said in last week's video that I would check out for you whether you can do that at City Thames Link and at Farringdon, and I checked that out today, and yes, you can. There's no ticket barrier. Again, if you go south, so if you are coming in from south to north, go out the south exit or over the stairs at the south exits at each of those stations, and you can get onto the platform going north again without having to go through any ticket barriers. And of course the same is true at St Pancras as well. So anywhere on the Thames Link core, if you use the south exits, you'll be fine. You don't have to cross any ticket gates. So apologies to Thames Link and apologies to anyone who I gave a bum steer to last week with that information, which obviously was wrong. Sorry about that. Wrists duly slapped and correction made. So onwards and upwards, as they say. So yes, it is Saturday, and again I was out and about playing on public transport today. So what have we learnt today? Well, I went from my local station at Slade Green to Blackfriars and did that check to make sure that the information I had been given was correct, and it is. So I did that, and then on to Farringdon and City Thames Link to do the same thing, and then finally getting to St Pancras, and then decided what I fancied doing was taking a bus to somewhere where I could then get a train on a line that I've never used before. So what I decided it might be quite good fun was to take the bus from Euston, the 18, the TfL service 18, which runs between Euston and Sudbury. So I thought I would take that all the way out to Wembley Central, and then from Wembley Central I would catch the train, which goes from, it's a southern service that runs an hourly service from Milton Keynes to back to East Croydon. But before I did all that, I thought I'll come back to that in a minute and tell you about that in just a moment. But before I did that, I've always had this fancy to get off the train at Mill Hill Broadway. I don't know if you've ever travelled on the M1, either in a coach or in a car, and you pass a station and it looks as if it's right against the M1 motorway, and indeed it is, and that station is Mill Hill Broadway. So I thought it would be nice to go there today, and I would do a little video with the M1 motorway right behind me, saying here I am in Mill Hill Broadway. Unfortunately, once you get on the platform at Mill Hill Broadway, you get absolutely zero view of the M1. From the M1, you get a beautiful view of the station, but from the station you see nothing at all of the motorway because they've got really high fences. The only thing you see is the occasional very high-sided vehicle, but generally it's completely shrouded and you see nothing of the motorway. So it was worth doing. I know I don't have to do it again. I can tick it off the list. And so that was my little diversion. So from St Pancras to Mill Hill and back again. Then the 18 bus, as I was saying, the 18 from Euston out to Wembley Central. It takes about an hour, maybe just a little bit more than an hour, and goes through like Paddington Green and Kensal Rise and Stonebridge and places like that. The other reason I wanted to do that is I wanted to try and get a quick look when we're going through Paddington Green at Little Venice, because I think it might be quite a nice thing to do in the summer to go on a little canal boat trip along the Regent's Canal. They run some from Camden through to Little Venice. So I wanted to have a quick look there just from the bus. I didn't get off to investigate, but just from the bus to have a look. And it looks really pretty. So that's something possibly that I'll do in the summer, and do a little video from that of what a Regent's Canal boat trip looks like. I think it might be quite good fun. Anyway, I got to Wembley Central. It's years since I've been in Wembley, I must admit. The last time I was in Wembley, I remember that Woolworths was closing down. So that'll give you an idea that it must be coming up for about 10 years. So I couldn't really remember much about Wembley and if there was much there to entertain and amuse me. Certainly there's not an awful lot in the way of places to eat. If you love Asian food, there's loads. So if you were looking for a curry or a kebab, there's plenty of places. But if you just wanted something, if you just wanted a toastie or egg and chips or something simple, there's not an awful lot of places to eat. But I did manage to get a Costa and had a sandwich and a nice iced latte. I do like my iced lattes in the summer. And then back over to Wembley Central Station. Now, of course, Wembley was absolutely heaving today because there's a big football match on. I don't know anything about football. I believe it was Aston Villa and possibly Fulham. But it was really, really, really busy. So I kind of picked the wrong day to go, but that's fair enough. Now, something you might want to know about Wembley Central Station is that the hourly service, which runs between Milton Keynes and East Croydon, runs on platform 5 when it's going to Milton Keynes and platform 6 when it's going to East Croydon. They don't let you onto the platform until 5 minutes before the train's due, so you just have to kind of loiter in the foyer, and then they come and take the barricade away and let you onto the platform. I think it's for safety reasons because there are lots of fast trains running through, and generally the platform's unmanned until the trains are due, so I think it's for safety reasons, and I think it is all the time. I don't think it was just because there were going to be a lot of people coming off the train because of the football match. So that's something to bear in mind. So I took that train from Wembley Central over to Clapham Common, Clapham Junction even, and it's nice where it crosses the river at Chelsea. Went through Imperial Wharf Station for the first time. I don't know if anyone's ever been in that station, but it's quite nice. And then changed at Clapham Junction because I wanted to see if I could find or see any of the new South Western Railways liveries, but unfortunately not. Obviously the logo, the new logo and the new name has been applied to lots of the trains, but it's still in the South West Trains colours mostly, so unfortunately I didn't see one of those. But anyway, I got the train from Clapham Junction to Waterloo, walked through from Waterloo to Waterloo East, caught the first train going to London Bridge, changed at London Bridge, and then back on my slate green train to my local station. So that was today's excursions. Wembley, as I said, a bit of a disappointment, but worth a visit if you fancy popping on lots of trains and buses, because there's various options there. You can go to Harrow, you can go to Ealing, you can go to Golders Green. As I say, on the train you can go to places like Milton Keynes and Tring, or you can go, as I said, to Shepherd's Bush and West Brompton, Kensington Olympia, and then out to East Croydon via the usual places like Norbury and Streatham and all those that are on the East Croydon line. So do let me know what you would like me to investigate next, and I hope you're enjoying these videos. Do leave me some comments, give me some suggestions, and I hope you'll join me next time. So in the meantime, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.